Hey, what is going on everyone? This is Chipmist here, and today we are going to be taking a look at Acer Chromebook. Now, recently in my college where I study, which is Penn State University, you guys might have heard of it. Where I studied, there was a Chromebook lending station. So what it basically is that you go in and you register for a Chromebook and they lend it to you for a couple of days. You can go ahead and test it out. You can use it. You can make others use it. And basically it's just a kind of a marketing scheme. Apart from that, there's a really big deal on it. Alright, so when you go ahead and lend this, you actually get a chance to actually win one of these, and you get to keep it even after a couple of days, after a couple of years, and so on. So, well, I didn't win, but I did rent one. So let's go ahead and check out how the Chromebook works out. Alright, so here we have the Acer Chromebook, and it looks pretty simple, it's pretty small. I think it's around 13 inches of screen, and it is pretty thin as well, as you can see. There's not much of the ports on the sides, so as you can see, there are a particularly limited number of ports. So we have some port for connection, which is a proprietary port which Google or Acer uses for charging the notebook itself. We have a headphone jack, we have a USB 3.0 port, and we have an HDMI. Now, the USB ports on this machine are particularly more useful than any other machine at all, because this machine does not include any storage. As this machine does not have any storage, you can't really download stuff and store it into a drive. You need something else in order to store anything on the actual device. Alright, so we can go ahead and check out the other side. There's a SD card slot, so you can just put in an SD card, you're good to go, transfer photos and all that stuff. We have a Kingston lock, and we have a USB 2.0 high-speed port. And that is pretty much it about itself. So I've been using this laptop for the entire day now. Not much of a use, of course. What am I gonna do with a Chromebook? So when I first got this Chromebook on hand, I started using it. I tried to set it up on the enterprise network. It won't work because, of course, I didn't have any profiles. I didn't know the correct signatures and the correct database, what to connect to, and all of that stuff. So I had to come home and connect it to my home Wi-Fi, which is a normal wireless A Wi-Fi. So here I am connecting to the 5 GHz network that I have at home, and it works pretty smoothly. It works really nice. This notebook runs Chrome OS, and which is, kind of granted that this is a Chromebook. This has a battery life of about 8.5 hours. I would say I'm not gonna get 8.5 hours out of this, especially not if I'm watching videos or streaming something. But if you're just browsing the internet, reading articles, and going on the Words and Gadget and all that stuff, watching the keynote tomorrow, then you're probably gonna end up getting around 5 to 6 hours of battery life, which is not that bad for our average looking laptop. The screen is around 13 inches wide, and as you can see, the keyboard is laid out in a chocolate style. Also, one thing to notice about this is that there's a very little real estate on this laptop. So when you're trying to type, and if you're accustomed to typing on let's say a MacBook Pro, then this is going to feel really congested. And I'm going to tell you why. It's basically because they have tried to make this laptop as compact as possible. There's nothing inside. There's just a motherboard, a processor, and basically a little bit of storage to host the OS. You can't really store anything on it. You can't download anything. So basically all you're left with just browsing the web. All you need to do is to set this up is log in into Google, and that's pretty much it. That's literally it. Just log in into Google, and you're signed into YouTube, you're signed into Google Drive, you're signed into your Gmail, you're signed into every single Google service there is. And while it works really nice if you use Google, if you don't, this laptop is pretty much useless. Because, I'm a guy who uses Google. There's a million other people who use Google, probably more than a million. But apart from those people who are still using Bing, or, who can't use Google in some particular areas. So when I'm to say who this computer is designed for, this computer is not designed for a person like me. This computer is not designed for a person like you who's watching a video on YouTube. This person is not designed for any technological person who's actually using a laptop to do any productive work other than browsing. This laptop is made for people who have never used a computer before in their life, like grandmas or old people, and they just want to get in and just want to surf the web, browse Facebook, and maybe connect with a few friends or other. And that's basically what this laptop is meant for. Apart from the really limited number of apps that you get with the version of Chrome OS. You can go ahead and go to the Play Store, and they have a lot of games and stuff that you can download. Basically, whenever you click on any app on this computer, it takes you to a web browser, which is Chrome, which is the entire operating system. It's Chrome OS. It's made of Chrome. Everything works inside Chrome. As far as I can say, this computer is pretty fast. It has to be. It doesn't use much inside, and it has a SSD data access inside. But apart from that, there's really nothing that you can possibly do with this laptop. As I've been thinking, I've bashed a lot about Chrome OS. Why am I so, sick about Chrome OS? Why did I even lend this laptop if I had such a bad impression of Chrome OS? Well, it's basically because I wanted to check out how it performs in normal conditions. And what it's made for is browsing the web, editing your Word documents, editing your Excel files, using Google Docs, using Gmail, using Google Play Music. And this laptop performs amazingly fast, amazingly quick, and it performs really nice. That's what it's made for. It does what it's made for. And I have to say, this is one of the best Chromebooks out there. Now, they had a couple of other options as well. They had the Samsung Chromebook, which has an amazing display. They had the HP one, which looked really nice compared to this one. This is this is the smallest Chromebook that you can get out in the market right now. I might be wrong, there might be another version, but this was the smallest one they had at the store. Apart from everything else aside, apart from all the hardware and stuff aside, this is a pretty light laptop. Now, when I took it in the hands for the first time, this is a laptop that you could carry anywhere. Like, if your daily purpose is just browsing the web, and if you go to classes, you just need to, finish some of the assignments, write a Word document, an essay or something, or just, everything is online. If you just want to do that, this laptop is perfect for carrying to, your college or school or anything that you might need to carry it for. However, if you're in if you're a comp sci student like I am, you probably won't get much out of this laptop. You probably won't get anything out of this laptop unless you find an online IDE that you want to work with. So this is basically it about Chrome OS. So as you can see the keyboard layout as well, the keyboard is laid out pretty silently. There's a couple of buttons which you won't prominently find on normal laptops, like these one. This is arrow key, which you can go use to swipe through the pages. There's the Control and Alt key, which is pretty huge considering those are pretty much the only command keys you need, and you really don't need the Windows or other command keys. So again, thanks for watching, guys. This has been a quick preview of the Chromebook. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel right here, and thumbs up this video. It really helps me out a lot. Share it on Facebook and Twitter if you want. Also, I have a lot of coverage coming up on Moto 360 and Moto G 2nd generation, so stay tuned for that. And also, I'm pretty excited for the Apple event tomorrow. When I'm recording the video, it's tomorrow. So, stay tuned for that as well. I'll have a lot of coverage coming up on iPhone 6 and a possible iWatch if they come out with one. Also, until next time, I'll see you guys later.